What's up, everyone? This is Destroyer229, and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 4 Golden. Last time, we ventured into the TV world, went back to Yukiko's castle, had a bit of a discussion about future things that I kind of hope for Persona 6, and fought the most BS boss in the game. In this episode, we are off to Kanji's dungeon. Oh, thanks, Teddy. You really shouldn't have. Teddy, that wasn't a compliment. Anyway, so that's how you get those items, and that actually leaves me to a really good segue. But we have to be in a dungeon first before we'll actually see anything of it. Okay, so before we go into another discussion, we need to show off costumes. So I didn't show this in Yukiko's castle just because I kind of wanted a somewhat, familiar setting to kind of lead things off. And I didn't do it last time just because I forgot. But we can show off some of the different costumes that we have. So these are various outfits that you'll unlock over the course of the game that you can change your appearance in battle. So otherwise, you're just going to be in default clothing, whether or not that's summer or winter clothes. You can force it to be either the summer or winter ones, as well as at midwinter, which is third semester outfits. You've got standard clothes outside of school for all of those, the gag ones as well. There's a few other ones. There's one for the Gekko-Con uniform, as well as some other gag plus other short-term costumes here. Some of these are shared between all characters. Some are shared between gendered characters, so males have certain ones, females have other ones, and then some are unique to an individual character. So for instance, to give you an example for a unique one, we have the hard-boiled look. And that makes you look like Dojima. Honestly, kind of funny. We'll keep that for a bit. In terms of Yosuke, let's go ahead and give him deep blue. Next is Chie. We'll give her a kung fu costume. And then for Yukiko, let's give her the Tsukisage. There we go. So now we have a detective, a velvet attendant, a kung fu master, and a traditional Japanese outfit. Now the costumes do more than just change the looks of your characters. Some of them actually will change the characters' animations as well. Oh, well, we can kind of use this to show that off.
That's a strong enemy.
I think actually for most of these, I'm not sure about the Kung Fu one. I know Yosuke's doesn't. I think the Dojima outfit and the kimono that Yukiko's wearing, I believe those do have different animations. I know for a fact that Yukiko's does. I think the Dojima one does as well.
Sensei, go for broke.
Let's go ahead and use Garu.
That's some thick skin.
Okay, how about fire?
It's over.
And most of the time it doesn't really change too much of their actual, like, battle animations. It's more like their victory. Ah, crap. Ooh, that is really bad. That's really, really, really bad on me. Ooh, no.
Here goes. Damn, it's not going down. Yuki-chan's health is too
I have
low.
Mapatra.
Persona.
Can we kill it?
Yikes, it's tough.
Okay, good. Let's go ahead and maybe see. Is it weak to lightning?
Persona.
It's not weak to lightning.
We won.
Oh yeah, the Dojima one does have a different animation. That's neat. And all for a go home. Okay. Let's go ahead. Heal that up. So yeah, so that's an example of a costume giving a different victory animation. Well, that was irritating because it was literally the last same enemies, the last thing that I tried. Cool. Anyway, while we're going through, at the very least, the first part of Kanji's dungeon, I would like to kind of continue on the conversation that we had from last time. But before that, we have ourselves the bribed fuzz. Now, if only I can remember what everything was weak to. Lightning? Maybe not lightning. No, not lightning. Wind.
Here goes. Persona. It's not
Not
going
wind.
down.
Fire.
It's over.
Weak to fire.
Enemies down.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't think Chie's animation changes with the Kung Fu one. But I know Yukiko's does, so once we actually get a chance to look at it properly, and not through an all-out attack, I'll be sure to show that off. Anyway, continuing on the conversation of last time concerning the potential for a FemC route. Yay, fire suppressor. One thing that I've kind of thought of that Atlas could potentially do would be kind of what is the general relation between the selectable characters. So if they ever did like an MC-FemC split, like what exactly their relation would be in terms of their role in the story. By that, I mean, do they exist outside of just, outside of just being the playable character? So, to kind of use the previous example, when it came to Fire Emblem, the answer is no. And the only difference was just because were they born male or were they born female? And while that's kind of the explanation for Persona 3, I personally don't see how. Ooh, new enemies.
2 enemies. You
Automonic
You
Basalt.
can win it.
I have a feeling these things are weak to ice, but... Yep, definitely not going to be weak to that.
Here goes. Persona.
Weak to wind.
Let me do it.
Do it!
Okay, okay. Take this. Guys.
Galactic Punch is the best. Okay. So, can we finally get a sweep bonus? No, but we do get a level up. I'll take that. Wish I had Amino Uzume with that, but I'll take an Agilao. So, the reason I don't really like Persona 3's explanation that, oh, it's just, same character, but just born as either, oh, seriously? And it's a new enemy. Cool, I'll get even further from my train of thought. Pursuing Pest. Mamudo. Are you weak to darkness? No, but it certainly works. I will take it.
You hit its weakness. Good answer. Out of our way.
Hey, well, that wasn't too bad. Can we please? Nope, just a ghoul. Don't care. I did get rid of a few of my... Another freaking go home out of all that. I did get rid of a few personas just in case there were interesting ones to like add on, but we'll see where that goes. Yeah, I think I get the hints. So, and it's coming straight for me. Cool. So, one big thing that I don't really like when it comes to Persona 3, basically using that explanation, is that it doesn't really track. Okay, the Wealth Hand. How are we going to deal with you? Do I have a persona that knows Secunda? Tarunda, Rakunda. Yes, Valkyrie. So we'll switch to her first and use Secunda. Alright.
It's not going down.
Now, I'm not entirely sure if any hand is ever
So persistent.
weak to anything, but I always just find it better just to try to get my crits up and just try to get it through critting. However, I'm going to switch to Amino Uzume. Try to give that an invigorate. Bash.
Someone else's turn.
Nico isn't really going to be super helpful.
I can't defeat it.
And we'll go with the skewer.
Come on. Take this. Yikes, it's tough.
Ah, crap. Well, at least I've got Yukiko for that. Yeah, Yosuke doesn't really have that, so that's a little bit unfortunate.
Damn, it's not going down. One enemy. Fight, fight, fight.
Not exactly going to be able to last a whole lot longer with this. Come on, Chie. Crit it, crit it.
Couldn't
Damn it.
quite beat it.
Ugh, that did a lot. Oh well, whatever, just stab it.
Here goes.
My physical attacks do a lot of damage to these things.
It's not going down.
Go ahead and heal up me, because the last thing I need is to die to a gold hand. Ah, crap. Yeah! Of course it's when the freaking crit chance goes back to normal that I actually get the crit. Of course. No. Because I don't want to cut my I don't want to cut my experience. If I do Moon, grab agility. Yeah, I could in theory, but I do not want to have to cut my experience from a gold hand.
Alright, I leveled up.
Well, at least Yosuke leveled up. And he learned Sonic Punch.
Oh,
And Yukiko leveled up. Great! She learns Medea. Perfect, I could have used that. Okay, so one reason that I don't like that explanation being used for the Persona 3 protagonists is just that the two are very different. They have very different personalities, despite the fact that they should be the same person with this more or less the same experience. Hi, Suppressor. So it just seems weird. Like, compare that to Fire Emblem. Good example. No matter which Robin you pick, or which Corrin, which Byleth, Shez, Alir, it doesn't matter which one you pick. You fundamentally have the exact same character. It's just one happens to be a boy, the other happens to be a girl. However, when you look at the Persona 3 protagonists, they are both... Another ice suppressor? They're both very different. Makoto is just apathetic. He doesn't really emote all that much. He doesn't really show much in terms of actual, like, caring. Meanwhile, you have Kotone, and Kotone is super bubbly, super affectionate, like a much more pronounced personality. A stark contrast compared to Makoto. So, it just feels kind of weird to me. Now, like, you would think, like, oh, well, shouldn't it not matter? Like, yeah, even if you were the same person, but, like, born male versus female, like, you would expect there to be some differences. And if we're going realistic, then yeah, but video games don't tend to do that. Like, it really doesn't matter what game you usually play. The gender difference doesn't usually impact, like, the base personality of the character that you're trying to make. It's usually the same, regardless. Not only that, but one thing that really kind of gets me to be like, is how it's basically treated in Persona Q2. Oh boy, we've got a new enemy.
There's three
We've got the Daring Gygus.
It's not strong at all.
Okay, you say that as if it wasn't level 19.
Persona. Two enemies down.
Okay, I was kind of hoping GA would pop in with that, but let's just use a Moodle. I don't have Moodle on Ivan Datara. Oh, sweet! Reach darkness. That works. Alright, can we finally get a sweet bone? Man, I am not getting any good luck on this. Well, we got Mabufu, so that's nice. So, one thing that I don't like how Persona Q2 handles it is that it is literally, like, it is stated that they are the same person, just born male versus female. Yeah, we'll go ahead and continue on with the plot here.
There he is!
Kanji!
Oh, my, thank you for your undivided attention. At last, I've penetrated the facility. These images are coming to you live from inside this steamy paradise. But I've yet to have any charming encounters. Could this hot fog be the cause? It's like steam rising from sweat. My body's tingling with excitement.
This is so wrong in so many ways.
I remember it being kinda like this on Yukiko's show, too. No, it wasn't like this. Those voices again. Wait, are they louder this time?
These voices. I was wondering whose they could be since it's only the victim in here. Is it the people watching outside?
You mean everybody who's watching the Midnight Channel? They're reacting to the show?
But it's not midnight.
Yikes! If people are watching Kanji-kun now, he's gonna be a legend in a way he never intended.
Well, it's really his shadow, not him. But normal people won't know that.
The shadows are getting really restless.
That elusive thing I truly yearn for. Will I finally find it here? Well then, onward and deeper to reach further realms of romance. Let's get going, damn it!
Kanji-kun!
That was his other self. It's trying to reveal his hidden feelings. It seems much worse than that time with Yuki-chan's shadow. At this rate, it might end up getting bare naked.
Bare naked?
Oh man, here it comes.
Was I supposed to laugh?
Okay, so now that we're done with that, with more of Teddy's awful puns, so, like I said, Q2 handles it that, yes, it is indeed just one was born male, the other was born female, but otherwise are exactly the same. Crap. Crap! Oh, this is bad. This is real bad. This is real bad, real bad, real bad, real bad! Oh, crap. Oh, no.
It seems strong, but I'm sure you'll win.
Okay!
Help her!
Okay, Yosuke. Get out of here. Did not expect to actually ever need to use Tsuda Fury. Oh boy, that sucked! I think I'm also gonna need to use some of those SP recovery items, because I'm certainly gonna need some tap sodas after that. Give some to Yukiko too. Anyway, so the reason I don't like Q2's explanation is because Makoto and Kotone have different last names. And that's the part that really kind of irks me. It's like they aren't necessary to have the exact same last name.
Enemy reinforcements! Hurry and beat them!
Oh boy, it's summoned a Phantom Master?
This one's tough! Hang in there!
I
Yosuke's
need to use
scared!
light on these guys. Also, let's just use Maragi. Oh, come on! Mabufu then? Because I don't have multi-target. Right! I forgot that it freaking reflects that. Okay. Amino Uzume.
Two enemies
Let's
left!
maybe get rid of the Phantom Master.
Great, Sensei! Go for
Okay, now are you weak to light? Yes, you are.
broke. Great work!
Good to know. So, it's one of those weird things where they don't necessarily have to have the same last name. Which feels weird to me because if they truly were one in the same person, then they should be otherwise identical. Or at the very least, their names should be, last names at least, should be identical in that regard. But they're not. Like, you could say like, oh, the canon names are different because the MC is from the anime and FemC is from the stage play. Oh, sweet, I leveled up. But even within the context of the one game where the two of them can interact with one another. It just feels weird to me that they're not required to be otherwise identical. Like, it's not like you choose the name for Femc and MC has the same last name. No, you get to choose 2 separate names. So it's just weird to me that with all the other inconsistencies there, it's really weird how they could even be considered one in the same person, since nothing really indicates that they should be. Like, it really does seem like they should be 2 separate people. Like, the best way to describe it would be kind of like how Pokemon has it. And even then, like, Pokemon, like, the difference between, like, May and Brendan, Dawn and Lucas. Oh, God!
An ambush by 3 enemies! Don't cry! Yosuke's in danger! He needs help! Yuki-chan!
How does this keep freaking happening?
Here goes. Persona.
Like, how? How do I keep getting freaking critted on? Ugh. Okay. We'll use this on Chie, and then... oh boy. Soul drops. Yikes, 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 yikes. Was not expecting that Shadow to still be super fast. I thought I got far enough away from him. Okay, there's one other area that I haven't gone through. Anyway. So compare that to Pokemon. Like, yeah, you have the main protagonists, and they do functionally just kind of serve a similar purpose. But it's still one of those things where it's like, they should technically both exist in the same time. And even when they... but that's just kind of the weird thing when it comes to Persona 3, is like, they act so differently, they don't necessarily need to share a last name, and yet they're still expected to be the same thing, where it's like, it's the same character, but born either male or female. So, this goes back into the previous discussion of, oh, come on! I have time to go back to Yukiko's castle just so I can grind out some soul drops, because, jeez. Come on! And it's another go. I think that might just be a sign for me to just, yeah, I think that's a sign for me to just head back. I think I need to try to grind out a little bit, at the very least, to get my SP back up. So I'm gonna head back to Yukiko's castle. And we'll go from there. First floor, because that should be relatively easy, just to at least get up to one of the other areas, or just to get, like, stuff souls and stuff. So, what exactly would be my solution doing this for, say, Persona 6? So, one thing that I think would be to try to make it so that way both the male and the female characters do exist in the world itself, beyond just essentially being a swap for the same character. Essentially making them to be their own characters if they are not chosen to be the protagonist. Similar to how Pokemon does it, which is what I was alluding to before. Pokemon, you still, for some of the games at least, encounter the other protagonist, they just have a different role in the story, since you're not the one playing them. So, in this case, it would pretty much be that Finally got a sweep bonus. So, my thought for trying to implement this would be essentially to have the male and female characters be siblings. In a sense, you are basically playing as one of two twin siblings. And whichever one that you don't basically pick would be kind of, someone that you would still have a close relationship with because, you're twins, you've lived together all your life. And they would kind of serve a little bit as kind of your, with these rare chests, kind of serves a little bit as one of your potential voices when it comes to more group dialogues. So, the best comparison would be kind of Morgana, where they do kind of be your voice, since the one that you control would still be the silent protagonist, and the one that you don't choose has a voice that can speak. But ultimately kind of serves a similar purpose, and probably would also be like an automatic rank up sort of situation. So what exactly would be... There's another gold chest down here. Jeez. So what exactly would be the benefits of doing something like this? Well, for one, it would give a canon name, since one of the big things that you could probably do would be that your sibling gives you a nickname, and perhaps that's the name that your friends go refer to you as. But at the very least, the one thing that they would be able to do would be essentially, you would have them giving a canon name where they refer to themselves as. So that kind of solves one potential issue that Persona generally has with not having a canon name until the anime adaptation comes out. So that would be one way to go about it. The other thing that would potentially... Well, one thing that could... Oh, seriously? Both of these had shadows? Wasn't gonna be easy enough to take care of that. Anyway. So, potentially one way would be giving a canon name, and possibly even a plausible explanation for why potentially you have a different last name. So, for instance, it could be that if you're playing as the male character, they, seriously? You do not freaking give up, do you? So if you're playing as, like, the male character, perhaps, like, your last name was taken from your father, and if you're playing as the female character, will you relent? Jeez. And if you're playing as the female character, then you take your last name from your mother. Assuming that neither of them play any significant role in the story, it wouldn't be one way or the other, while still kind of justifying why the siblings have different last names, both in terms of the context of the game, as well as in the context of any other adaptation that may come out. Okay, screw this. So, it changes based off of that, and as well as providing some sort of explanation. You could maybe hand wave away, or maybe that was just an agreement based on the parents in terms of last names being given. You don't need to go too deep as to why exactly it is, just that there is an in-lore explanation as to why these siblings have different last names. So that could potentially help out with that regard as well. Plus, if you had any sort of reservations based on, like what I said last time, in terms of, oh, well, what about the anime cutscenes? You can't really do both of them at the same time. And if they're siblings, and they're both involved in the story, and they're both involved in any sort of situation together, then yes, you can just have both of them be involved in the anime cutscenes, none the wiser. It's just that neither of them would be talking in it to make sure that, or at the very least they wouldn't be talking much in it. At the very least, Persona 5 made it so that way Joker had some sort of spoken dialogue occasionally. Didn't happen often, but it did. So I mean, as long as, like, what are you all doing over here? So, like, maybe they each give, like, a sentence or two or something like that in order to kind of still keep plausible that they are still the silent protagonist regardless of which one that you picked. So by making them siblings, you kind of solve a lot of different issues when it comes to the game, as well as basically just providing just some explanation while giving the player the option to choose either one. Now, of course, someone may say like, oh, does that mean that like they have the same persona? No. There would be an explanation for that as well. You get back here! Don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare. Gotcha!
Ooh, can I have this one?
I think I'm gonna get all three! Unfortunately, Valkyrie is gonna get all the experience for this, which is not the persona I really wanted. But at least I killed them all. That was an awful card setup. What the hell? Game 2 moons? Anyway, so I feel like that would solve quite a bit of issues, especially with what a lot of fans kind of have, without presenting a problem like what I see when it comes to Persona 3, where you have two very different characters that are supposedly supposed to be one in the same.
The winner takes it all!
Although I guess Chie technically... Well, no! I don't think she does that head tilt at the end, so no. Chie's is slightly different with that costume. She also got pretty wrecked. So let's go ahead and use... Orange Smash. And a Coronet. That didn't really... That recovered SP, didn't it? Damn it. Oh well, I guess it's fine with Chie. I do not have that many healing items. I should have just bought some while I was at the store. It's supposed to be a training session. I'm just getting my butt kicked because I'm getting too high up. Anyway. I think that explanation would kind of help without introducing the same problems that Persona 3 really has, where it's two very different characters. So that's kind of what I hope. I do hope that at the very least, even if it's not going to be exactly like what my explanation is, just because that's a little bit too much detail for what would be essentially a hopes. I do still hope that at the very least we get a male and a female protagonist. I do think that Persona could benefit a lot. Most games that allow you to have a blank slate generally allow you to pick if you're a boy or a girl. So, Persona still being a bit of a holdout is just weird, admittedly. So, hopefully Persona 6 will allow us to do that, even if it is just one versus the other. Hopefully we at least get the bare minimum of, can we choose to be a boy or a girl? So, with that, we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. Most of that was just for the explanation, and I did just want to get some of my stuff back, and I just could not find cups in Yukiko's castle. Also finding a hard time with items that weren't just in big, rare chests. So this is definitely gonna suck trying to get through it, especially since I'm running low on items. But I do have the fox. And since the fox is in a good mood, it is slightly cheaper than what it would be normally, even if it is still most of our money. That is mostly going to be in cases of an emergency. But we're gonna call it a day here. So, next on Let's Play Persona 4 Golden. We're gonna head back into Kanji's dungeon and see how far we can get. Thankfully, we can just jump up right to where we left off. So we, at the very least, we won't necessarily need to worry about, like, catch-up. Although, considering just how low level we are, considering where we're at, Yeah, starting back from the bottom might be the way to go. I don't like needing to just reuse that, but we're gonna need experience. So, it's still gonna be hard. This is, again, we're on very hard difficulty, so trying to get the experience that we need with these fights getting progressively harder a lot faster, yeah, we're gonna need to do quite a bit of backtracking. So, hopefully we'll be fine. Until next time, everyone, take care.